Okay, so I don't think it's any secret to anyone that I know what my favorite movie of this past summer was. And yeah, I'm counting the summer as over. There's nothing coming out. There's nothing left on the radar that I'm interested in. And yes, as big a Spider-Man fan as I am, I'm not interested in Spider-Man Far From Home. We now know that Marvel is forbidden from having Spider-Man and his related characters act like Spider-Man, so I'm calling these the Iron Boy movies. So yeah, with summer pretty much officially done for me, and with this showing up on Tuesday and I having a chance to look at all the extras, I figured I'd give a quick review of the Alita Battle Angel 4K Blu-ray. Which, by the way, am I the only one who's puzzled as to why they reversed the title? The manga is the English translation of the manga Yeah. Try saying that. How are you supposed to pronounce Gunnm in English? Our palate just doesn't want to, the palate of our mouth just, and the way our tongues move just doesn't want to make that come out. So yeah, I think the English publishers of the manga probably made a good choice in deciding that they would give it a completely different name. But yeah, but why the film confuses things further by calling it Alita Battle Angel instead of Battle Angel Alita, I have no idea. But yeah, well, let's take a look at the 4K Blu-ray real quick. One thing I will say is that I really like the cover. It's a recreation of the movie poster, of course, like all home video covers nowadays. But it's got a nice epic feel. Yeah, you still got lots of headshots of people, which is one of my least favorite types of posters. And yeah, my favorite type of poster is hand-painted, posters from the 1930s, 40s, through the 80s. There's only in the 90s we, for some reason, went away from having just artists paint an epic movie poster. But I really like this. It has that epic movie poster feel. It really gives you an idea of the scale of the story while coming together in a. It all flows together. The only thing I don't like is the sticker for the 3D version of the film, which that's the only version on this disc that I haven't watched. And that's because, well, I've only ever known in my life one person with a 3D TV and 3D capable television and a 3D Blu-ray player, and their one broke years ago. I've never met anyone else who had one. They never sold. In fact, I have no idea why there's a 3D Blu-ray in this. Yeah, I know the movie had some 3D releases, but there weren't any 3D screenings anywhere where I saw that. And I really have no idea why they are pushing the Blu-ray 3D on this one, other than, is James Cameron going to try to push that, try to keep that obsolete technology going, because it's not manufactured anymore. You may as well have included a VHS copy. In fact, I would say I would have preferred to have a DVD copy if they're going to have a third version of it. But yeah, you flip it over, and again, it's very pleasing. It has all the information you need and everything. One thing, though, I noticed in the late 90s that's bugged me. It's bugged me since the late 90s. Every home video release coming from 20th Century Fox has a piece of information missing that I always like, because I like scheduling my day and stuff. And I like, being able to schedule things in. But in the late 90s, now, before that, they had it, but when I was a teenager in the late 90s, I noticed that 20th Century Fox, for some reason, stopped putting the movie's runtime on the back of their discs. And as a home video collector, that's always bugged me, and I don't understand why they would do that. So you open it up, and the digital code has already been used. And I had to reverse the discs, because originally they had, in the easiest access position, the 3D Blu-ray disc. And the Ultra Blu-ray disc, the Ultra HD disc, was all the way here. But the Ultra disc is probably the one I'm going to use the most. So they had it here, this here, and the Blu-ray there. So I sort of reversed it. I swapped these discs over. And don't try to use this code. I already activated it. There's some ads for some neat merchandise. I wouldn't mind having one of these statues and stuff. But, yeah. So I just put the 3D Blu-ray as the one that's behind this, because I'm never going to use it. Overall, the case is, you know, it's your average case, but it works, and I like the way I do like the way it looks on my shelf, so that's a big plus right there. And I definitely like this black. I definitely think for a movie like Alita, with its color scheme, the black at the top, as opposed to that you get with 4K Ultra HD, is a much better look than what you get with in the blue. So that's a nice little bonus. Okay, so I really like the look of the menu, for one thing. Most movie companies are now going for this stupid look on their menu where it's just thrown together. It's like they don't even care. Warner Brothers is the worst at this. Warner Brothers may put out the best Blu-ray discs when it comes to extras and restoration of classic films, but Warner Brothers tends to do this annoying thing where the menus seem to have been made in Windows Movie Maker. I mean, literally. I'm going to get to some Warner Brothers discs at some point, and I'll show you that. But here, the font and everything looks fine. And another bugaboo with me on a lot of DVDs is that a lot of DVDs, they make it so faint, the color, when you highlight something, that you can't tell if you have it highlighted. But as you can see here, yeah, you can see it. Yeah. And this is all your standards. You have your play. I would show off the 4K version, but I realized the camera won't show the difference. I will tell you this, though. I've watched the movie in both Blu-ray and 4K, and the Blu-ray looks great. You're gonna have a great time watching this movie, and you're gonna enjoy the picture quality on Blu-ray. But the 4K is amazing. You can definitely tell the difference with the 4K. Is it worth an extra $10? Well, that'll be up to you. In setup, they have audio and subtitles and different things, and as you can see, they have everything you would expect, you know, different languages, all the different audio things. They even have English Dolby Digital 2.0, which is nice. One thing, they have English subtitles, which isn't always a given. And here's the thing, I have some people in my family who have real problems with hearing thing, they're not actually deaf, but when there's a lot of loud noises on screen, they have trouble like hearing dialogue if there's music playing. So having subtitles, more movie companies, please remember to put English subtitles on your movie. Yeah, I know it may. Yeah, I know it may seem useless since you're not getting an extra audience there, but it really does help. But it really does help people. There's search and yeah, scenes, and you have scene selection, and yeah, you have a decent number of subtype. You have a decent number for a 2.5-hour movie. Yeah, you have 33 chapter stops, which that's a major thing with me, is having enough chapter stops. I've watched some nearly 3-hour action movies lately that have that only have like 10 chapter stops in them, and that's too few. To me, once the scene changes, you should have a chapter stop there, so that if somebody's life gets in the way of watching the movie, and let's face it, if we're buying it on home video, we're going to at some point have our life get in the way. We all have real lives. So please, Hollywood, put enough chapters on your disc. This one does a good job. 36 chapters for a 2.5-hour movie. That works for me. I had to turn this off, and my Xbox didn't remember where I stopped, and I easily found my place without any And we got some great extras here. There actually are a decent number of extras, which extras are becoming a thing of the past. Like, for instance, the audio commentary track has become a thing of the past, and that's sad to me. This one doesn't have an audio commentary track. I wish it did, because it would make it like the perfect set. But it doesn't. But it doesn't, because that's become a thing of the past. My favorite type of audio commentary track is when they throw together different people from different parts of the movie. Like, they throw together the director, the cameraman, the actors, the special effects people, maybe the writer or somebody. You have the writers and stuff, and when you throw all those people together who all worked on different aspects of the movie and may not have, worked with each other directly, it can lead to some interesting conversations and stories as they bounce off each other. But this doesn't have that, so yeah. One thing, unless you want major spoilers for the manga, do not watch any of the Alita's World. You'll get major spoilers for the manga, so don't watch. Alita's World is a whole series of in-depth extras, and they're really nice extras. Yeah, Alita's World is an overview of the fictional history of the world. You have a great extra which shows how the manga came to James Cameron's attention, how it ended up in Robert Rodriguez's hands and stuff. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, you have all this. You have great. You have yeah. You even have the. Basically, most of these extras, they're the normal fluff pieces, interviews that are done to promote a movie, but you do hear some interesting stories. Like, I'm not even going to pronounce his name, but the author of the manga, he talks about how he came up with the idea and the struggle that was getting it accepted, and how basically he talks about how he didn't know if anybody even liked the character until there was a popular. Basically, the author of the manga, he talks about how he didn't know if anybody even liked the character of Alita because he didn't get any fan mail for months. It wasn't until there was like a popularity poll and she came in like 3rd place for the most popular character in the magazine or something. And yeah, this is probably my favorite extra. It's Robert Rodriguez, and somebody who has made his own chocolate and stuff. He shows you his method of making chocolates at home, which is great. It's intense, and he really lays a slam down on overpriced store chocolates. Yeah, he seems to have a major bug about it. The 2005 art compilation, which seems to have been a pitch reel where they hired some voice actors, and where James Cameron hired some voice actors and put together all the concept art and some music to, I guess, give 20th Century Fox an idea of what they were financing. That is really interesting. And as I said, yeah, and the scene deconstruction, that's my second favorite extra. In it, you go through scenes, and by hitting buttons on the remote, you can see the motion capture, you can see the early animation that was a placeholder, and then you can see the final product. And you can switch seamlessly, and it goes seamlessly on every Blu-ray player I've tried it on. So yeah, that's a nice little extra for someone like me who's into trying to figure out what was practical, what was a matte painting, what was CGI. That's a really neat thing. So yeah, overall, it's a really, really good package for a modern Blu-ray. My only major bug, the only thing that really bugs me, is that, and this is a problem with all 4K discs, and that is that they do this thing now where the extras are only on the Blu-ray part, the normal 1080p Blu-ray part. And I know what you're thinking. Well, what does that matter? The extras are only ever shot in 720p anyway, so they won't get any benefits from the Ultra HD. Yeah, I get that, and that's fine with me. But the Ultra, but it would be nice to not have to switch when I'm watching it on my big screen TV, in my big screen 4K TV. It would be nice to just be able to play the extras off of the disc, and they could easily fit onto the extra space on the 4K disc. because they are just shot in 720p. So I could get them to get. So it would be nice to be able to play them without having to swap discs and put in the normal Blu-ray, but that's just a minor pet peeve. Overall, the only complaint I really have about this movie after having read the manga is that the overall, I would have I would have not brought in Nova. I would have just left Nova until in case you got a sequel. I don't think this movie will get a sequel because of its box office performance, but the movie would have felt like a complete. But if they had just left out Nova, then the movie would have felt like a complete standalone movie. As it is now, it sort of feels like it feels like a complete story, but it also feels like it leaves something hanging for a sequel that will never happen. So what I would have done is I would have kept Nova out of it, and then she could have started out the second movie by finding out Nova was behind everything going on in the first movie, and that's about the only thing I would change. I give the movie is a 9 out of 10. It's a great summer blockbuster. And by the way, when I give movies like this a 9 out of 10, I'm rating them as summer blockbusters, I'm not judging them against Citizen Kane, my favorite movie of all time, or anything. So yeah, it's a great summer blockbuster, and overall, I give the overall package of this 4K disc. I give this overall package. I love this overall package, and I give it a 9.5 out of 10. With an audio commentary, it would have been a 10 out of 10. But as it is, the full package, it's still well worth your money and well worth your $30. So yeah, go and get Alita Battle Angel. If you didn't see it in theaters, I think you'll love this movie. If you did, well, you'll probably want to watch it again, so go get it, because I've seen some stores running out of stock with it, so get it while you can. Alright? Well, see you next time.